After taking Bayern Munich to the pinnacle of European football, Hansi Flick has returned to coaching, choosing Barcelona to practice his meticulous planning with electrifying attacking football. With the help from Total Football Analysis and the coach's voice, join me in dissecting Flick's tactical genius from his high pressing intensity to his fluid attacking formations. We'll explore how these principles brought success and how I translated that into a totally dominating Football Manager tactic tested with two different teams. So let's turn up that intensity and get stuck in. His time at Bayern was characterized by a constant use of the 4-2-3-1 formation. This formation resulted in an asymmetrical attacking shape, with 7 players frequently advancing to attack. David Alaba was deployed in central defence and Alphonso Davies adapted to the left-back position. Both fullbacks in Hansi Flick's Bayern were fairly attacking, to say the least. Like most modern-day centre-backs, the central defensive partnership needs to be good on the ball but should offer different styles and qualities to avoid being one-dimensional. To achieve this, Flick aims to use a central defender who is skilled at making mid to short line breaking passes and can carry the ball forward into vacated space. On the other hand, their partner must be able to bypass the midfield with accurate long-range passing, whether playing diagonal balls towards the advanced wingers or directly to the striking outlet. In front of the defence, he most commonly favoured Kimmich and Leon Goretzka at the base of their midfield. Kimmich looking to withdraw in and around the defence to create overloads when attempting to build out a 1-4-2 shape, through Pavard and Davies moving into midfield and Thomas Müller joining Robert Lewandowski up front, increasing their presence in the final third. Is used as the left-sided forward. He had a fine understanding with the overlapping Davies and he offers a great end product with a willingness to shoot, which makes him suited to cut an infield from the left onto his right foot. Lewandowski not only scored plenty of goals, but he also showed his ability to occupy or beat opposing central defenders. That was enhanced under Flick by his willingness to withdraw into the left inside channel. When the left-back Davies advanced, Lewandowski often either combined with runners in central territory or spun and attacked into the penalty area, often having drawn a central defender out of position with the previous movement. In possession at Barca, we expect Barcelona's fullbacks to be actively involved in the build-up play, particularly when supporting the wingers and creating space for them to move inside. In midfield, Flick will be greeted with the return of Gavi, a talented player who could be a good fit for the role of a tough ball winner alongside a more attacking playmaker in the double pivot. In my opinion, that could be Frankie de Jong. In the 2019-20 season, Thomas Müller played a crucial role for Bayern as a number 10, providing vital support to Lewandowski in the central position. His intelligent movement towards the right created an effective attacking triangle with a wide forward and fullback, typically Pavard. Unlike Davies, Pavard's inclination towards possession rather than carrying the ball prompted Müller's strategic movements, encouraging the wide forward to exploit the opposing defence. Also, when Benjamin Pavard played as the right back, Kingsley Coman's ball carrying abilities made him a fitting choice on the right. With Müller, Coman and Pavard on the right, Flick's team executed successful crosses into the penalty area, capitalised on by Lewandowski's well-timed attacking runs. Having had experience playing off the left, Pedri could effectively play that Thomas Müller role, which allowed Flick's Bayern to flourish in the 1920 season, interpreting space across the front line. This includes, like we just mentioned, drifting wide to create overloads with Barca's wingers, but also playing closer to Lewandowski and running beyond the Polish striker. More creativity across the front line will only excite Lewandowski, who is reconnecting with a coach that allowed him to score 48 goals in Flick's only full season with Bayern. The hallmark of Hansi Flick's system is the incredible and relentless pressing efforts focused on regaining possession as soon as possible. Operating within the 4-2-3-1 formation, Flick relies on both fullbacks to maintain high positions and boldly step up towards the opposing wingers. The initial wave of the press is smartly used to channel play down one of the flanks. Lewandowski will aim to direct the ball progressor left or right, allowing the corresponding midfielder and fullback to effectively shut down passing outlets through the central areas. The effectiveness of Bayern's press under Flick owes much to its second wave. Flick insisted on Bayern's defensive shape to feature a high defensive line. This encourages their double pivot and fullbacks to proactively press the ball as it approaches the midfield third and to effectively screen and block against switches of play. Under Flick, both Germany and Bayern showcased their remarkable effectiveness in their counter-pressing efforts. Multiple players actively looked to establish numerical superiority and swiftly dispossess the opponent. As Barcelona are expected to adopt a more ambitious approach in possession, the probability of turnovers is poised to increase. Nonetheless, they can draw reassurance from the fact that Xavi's side last season achieved the second highest PPDA in La Liga and the highest gegenpressing intensity in the league. Those are some key points from Flick's Bayern Munich back in 1920. We will of course speak more when looking at the Football Manager tactic, but now we're going to look at some possible new signings for Barcelona. So I took the liberty of adding Nico Williams to Barcelona. Everywhere I look, it seems inevitable. After Euros, it's probably or likely going to happen. Nico Williams to Barcelona, so he's in my Barcelona team. But going through the squad, I was looking at the fullbacks and, well, that area is a little bit light, especially looking at the left back. There's only Balde, who is sort of that Alphonso Davies profile. That works out pretty nicely. Looking at the right hand side, you've got a couple players that could play right back. So you got Koundé, Hector Fort now as well, promoted to the Barcelona first team. Ronald Araujo can also play at right back, but it's unlikely we want that to happen. So we are looking for a versatile fullback, highly technical. On the right hand side, we've got Benjamin Pavar's heat map from that 1920 season. Alphonso Davies' heat map, of course, will look similar, but there'll be some more heat in that attacking area. We're looking for someone that can play the role of an offensive fullback, but also ball playing. Someone that has received a lot of passes, so I know they're comfortable receiving the ball. Someone that can complete a lot of passes, accurate forward and progressive passes. I've actually put progressive passes there twice, sorry. Defensive duels 1 per 90, interceptions as well. I thought this is going to be key for a Hansi Flick out of possession. Accurate crosses, so when they do advance, how accurate are they with their crossing and chance creating? And we are also looking at expected assist. From that, I got a short list of 11 players. You can see we've got Theo Hernandez here. Koundé is actually on the short list, so let's say 10 because we obviously can't sign Koundé. Garfield, that is definitely unrealistic. We got Joshua Kimmich, that has been a rumor, I believe. Wesley, sort of the unknown player in Brazil, just balling it out. But the fullback from this list that I went with, bear in mind, he has to be versatile. The exciting Turkish fullback, Ferdi Kadıoğlu. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, from Fenerbahce. So we brought him in. This is a fullback that can play left back. He can also play right back as well. If you have been watching him from the Euros or in the Euros, during the Euros, you would know that he's got a little bit of a technical ability about him as well. Bit of a buzz. But I do like him because not only can he play left back and right back, he can also play that role of a complete wing back, I guess we can say, but also more of a ball playing fullback as well. He doesn't have to advance so high. He could be more involved in possession. So we brought in Ferdi Kadıoğlu, who played 31 games for us, actually getting 4 goals, 10 assists and a 7.34 average rating, which is pretty good, pretty grande. But that's the signings. We are now going to dig into the tactic because I also have a little surprise at the end. We are going to be playing a Champions League final. So let's move on. Do you know what I just found out? I don't think you've liked this video, have you? Make sure you like this video. It does go a long way and it's just so easy. Just a click of the button, but also a great way to support myself and this channel is by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can have your say in the next tactic, but also you will get a heads up on the next great tactic to be released. So make sure you check out the Patreon, where you can support the channel from as little as £3. Let's get stuck into this Hansi Flick dominating tactic. So we are ready for our Champions League final against PSG. We're the away side. I hate that. Look at Balde, my Alphonso Davies, with the highest average rating in the Champions League. But before we get stuck into the game, we are going to break down the Hansi Flick 4-2-3-1. There's 3 different tactics, 3 different solutions. I will tell you when to use them. So these are the player roles. The player roles are already set in stone. In goal, Ter Stegen. We've got the sweeper keeper. Actually, what I can do is sort of my vision of this new Barcelona team. So we've got Ter Stegen as the sweeper keeper in goal. We got Alejandro Balde as the complete wing back on attack, dribbling more. The left side of centre back is the talented 17-year-old centre back. So he's going to be our ball playing defender, dribbling more into that vacated space. And then we got Araujo as our central defender. At right back as our ball playing fullback, we've got Koundé, still likes to get further forward, taking more risk and tackling harder. Now, moving into midfield, we got Gavi as our defensive midfielder on support. Could be Gavi, could be Gundogan. And then on the right hand side for our deep line playmaker, though De Jong probably prefers to play on the left hand side, we've got a DLP on support. No added instruction. This could be De Jong or it could be Gundogan. On the left hand side of the attack, we got the inside forward Nico Williams sitting more narrow. On the right hand side, we got the inverted winger on support. I really tried to capture Yamal. I really tried to capture Yamal's style here. So we are looking to take more risk, but also looking to cross more often and cross from deep. So I want him to sort of cut inside and do that cross from that half spade in that sort of deepish area rather than the byline. We all saw that cross in the Euros. I know, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, in attacking midfield, we've got that Ram Deuter, so to speak, Thomas Muller role, taking more risk, oh my god, and roaming from possession. Up front, lastly, we've got Lewandowski pressing forward. He's going to lead that press, trying to angle the ball player into different flanks so we can then press. He's taking more risk and dribbling more, taking more risk so he can involve players and dribble more so he can beat the opposing central defenders as well. So it is a bit asymmetrical because we do want Thomas Müller, we want Pedri to sort of go on the right hand side. So if I use this analysis button, you can see I've got 3 dots here and it's telling me that Pedri, Yamal and Koundé are sort of responsible for this area here. So that's encouraging to know that I've got Pedri sort of operating on that right hand side, and the same goes with Lewandowski. Again, on the left hand side, we've got 3 dots here, and the link up is supposed to be the left back, the striker Lewandowski, and the left winger. So now for the team instructions, I really had to use the data in game to get this right as well. So I did actually do the save multiple times. I just weren't happy with it. I wasn't happy with it, and I started looking at the data, and then I can kind of see where I was going wrong. So attacking width is set to fairly narrow so we can play vertical. We know Hansi Flick likes to play vertical. We are going to pass the ball into space and run at the defense. Main reasons being is that Bayern Munich in 1920 completed the most dribbles, especially in 1v1s. They also had the most free balls as well. So for me, it makes sense to use passing to space, run at defense, shorter passing as well, because they did like to keep possession. Well, they like to have possession, not really keep it. The reason why their possession, or one of the reasons why their possession numbers were so high, is because their counter press was so effective. So it seems like they were on the ball a lot of the, well, they were on the ball a lot of the times. And then for the tempo, we are on higher. We are also adding overlap on the left and overlap on the right. In transition, we are going to counter press and counter. One of these instructions will be tweaked for the different version. And then for the goalkeeper as well, we want him to distribute the ball to the centre backs, and he can do that fairly quickly. Go on, lad. Go on, Neuer or Ter Stegen. Lastly, out of possession, we are using a high press, a high defensive line, which is going to whack all of that up just so we are very intense. And that quite literally wraps up the tactics. So there were a couple things with the trigger press. I did want it to be on more often, and with the tempo as well, I wanted it to be on slightly higher. Then now looking at the data, our high intensity sprints were, it was fairly low when it was like this. So then I tried to use just the trigger press, and of course the high intensity sprints slightly increased, but then when I used the tempo one higher, that sort of just fix the issue I thought I was having. So the second tactic is quite literally the same as the first, but we have changed one role. The reason being, I tested this with a team in Peru. I like just going to weird random places and testing this out, and you will see that with my next video as well. An Invincible 4-3-3. I did similar, went to Uruguay to test it out, but I tested it out in Peru and it weren't quite hitting off with that complete wing back on attack. So I changed it to a fullback on attack. And lastly, I was having trouble with teams that were playing 2 strikers. I was looking for a fix, finally found one, slightly higher tempo, and then with a trigger with the counter press, we have removed that. The counter press was the main issue when playing against 4-4-2s, 4-4-2 diamonds. Our shape was just non-existent when we did lose the ball. And then when trying to counter press as well, it just meant that we got counted way too easily. You still have that sort of counter press to it because you are still heavily pressing the ball, but we just removed that instruction for many players to instantly go and press, because it did hurt us a lot. We got battered by Real Madrid, and that made me change things. So that's the tactic. Make sure you use this tweaked version when you are away against, or even at home against some big teams like Real Madrid, even Atletico Madrid as well. I've done it against, but any team using a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-2 diamond, 2 strikers, I used this one, just removed counter press. If you want to know what I do with the set pieces, it is player marking, then we go to no post, then we go to defend box, then we go to near post, defend transition, in swinger, and voila, set pieces all done. Now we are going to look at the results and then play that Champions League final. So with Barcelona, we won the La Liga, 109 goal difference. So, you know, we scored a lot of goals, 103 points as well. Absolutely insane. But the Champions League final, we have to play. The Copa del Rey, we won that. Who did we beat in the final? Real Madrid 4-0. And then in the Super Cup as well, we beat Real Madrid 4-0. Real Madrid must hate us. Look at us. I wouldn't say the final was a 4-0 match. Lewandowski with the hat-trick, scoring a penalty in the 84th minute. They had chances to score, they didn't in that game. Unfortunate for them. We scored 128 goals, so the most goals, we had the most shots for, the fewest shots against us. With the possession numbers, we came in 5th, 57%. I could say I'm fairly happy with that, I guess. We weren't looking to be the most overly possession-based team in the game. For the most dribbles made, we came in 2nd. Most clean sheets, Barca, and for the fewest conceded, Barca only 19 conceded. And you can see with the high intensity sprints as well, Real Madrid are still got more than us, which it was fairly difficult to get higher than that. With this tactic, I don't know why, but with chances created and expected goals for, we topped that. So like I mentioned, I did test this in Peru with Cesar Vallejo. So before the season started, I just want to show you where we were predicted to finish. So in 5th place, 12-1. We managed to do the unthinkable with Cesar Vallejo getting their first Peruvian title in their history. What an achievement. That wasn't the only great achievement here. We also got into the Sudamericana final as well. I mean, we was predicted to be nowhere near the final. We got into the final, but we did lose 2-1 to Sao Paulo, and you can see the two tables here as well. The first, so the opening stage, we played 18, winning 17. Absolute mental. In this test, we scored 131 goals, so even more than Barcelona, and you can see here the data fairly similar, but with high intensity sprints, we did top that. That could also be down to the type of league and the type of football the opposition are also playing. But that wraps up the stats. Now let's get in to that Champions League final. Well, PSG no longer have Mbappe, so we do have an opportunity here, a great opportunity. I wouldn't say that team are the greatest team. This game's winnable. It's the Champions League final. God's sake, bit nervous for this one. These are the champions. 15 minutes in, and it's only Barca that have had a shot at goal. Here's Hernandez, plays it into Xavi Simons. You got to be following that, Frankie. Kangin, Ramos. Well done, Koundé. We got to get stuck in. One sec. We aren't pressing up onto these players. I know it's only 15 minutes in. It's only the first highlight, but sometimes when you don't like what you've just seen early on, you've got to make changes. Here's Koundé. Okay, whips it. Lewandowski, yes. How's that just gone in? That is possibly the worst goal we've scored all season. But it's coming the Champions League final. Nobody's complaining. What on earth? Donnarumma's got to do better there. He's got to do better. Initially, I thought the header was going over because it usually... instant reply. This game's so predictable. It's never offside with their set piece. Never. Yeah, it's never going to be offside with their set piece. So, that's them. One goal. Of course. So PSG are just out here. They've had one highlight. Well, we've had one highlight, but they've also just had one shot. One shot at goal, and it's magically flowing in. The issue here now, I think I'm having, is these two DMs aren't pressing high enough. They're not going high enough to the PSG central midfielders. Let's go, man. I just realised I've got Firmin and not Pedri. Ferran. Yamal! 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 How old is he? 17? How old is he? 17? If that. He's 16 in my game. He's 16 scoring big boy goals. Oh, what a finish. Donnarumma got left. So we are actually going to change Firmin because he's actually not supposed to be playing. It's supposed to be Pedri. So PSG with the ball are fairly deep. Like with us, you can see we're trying to get players ahead. They're deep. So they're just holding possession deep. And they're looking like they're going to just sort of bait us. Oh, look. There can't be another corner, man. Penalty. I don't believe this game, man. They've had nothing all game. They've just had 2 corners and they've magically just scored from both of them now. That is so frustrating, man. It's just 2 free kicks, man. Here is Donnarumma trying to build up from the back. Kimpembe, Danilo. So our centre midfielders are higher now. So you can see our DMs are pressing up on these players here. That's exactly what I want. There we go. Gavi, Pedri. Oh my God. Oh. Extra time, boys. It is now extra time. Should have won this in opening 90. It's half time and extra time. I don't like making subs. Our players are knackered though. So we're going to get Gavi, penalty taken 9. So we're going to get Gundogan on. Koundé, penalty taken 8. We're going to get Ferdi on. Penalty taken 8 as well. Ferran Torres, penalty taken 12. Yamal, penalty taken 10. Ansu, 12. Nico Williams, 14. Let's get Nico on. Yeah, let's get Nico on. And that takes us to penalties. I'm so frustrated, man. I can't believe they've had nothing all game, just 2 corners, and they've capitalized on both corners. Handball is just ridiculous. But Carlos Soler scores his penalty. Lewandowski now stepping up. Could have done that in 90 minutes. He could have done that in the game. Oh, come on, Gundogan, man. I've just brought you on. I brought you on with the penalty theory. Shit, I can't take this. I need to eat. I need to eat a Pringle. I need to eat a Pringle. I can't take this. Matt Hummels. Come on. Come on, Nico. Gundogan, I brought you on. You scored. Nico, I brought you on. Woo! Come on, Ter Stegen, man. Save us here. Save us, Ter Stegen. We flipped. Wow, that was a stressful match. Generally, I think we should have won that in the 90 minutes, but like I said, when it comes to football, anything can happen. I'm very frustrated that both their goals come from corners because we scored our fair share of corners as well. We just got to learn how to defend them. But also because of the handball as well. But we've won the quadruple. We have replicated Hansi Flick's success at Bayern Munich. We've done it. We've done it, people. And unfortunately, that wraps up today's video. If you have enjoyed that, make sure you have liked this video. Make sure as well you check out the Patreon. Shout out to all my Patreons. Look at that. The quadruple. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. And God bless.